Good afternoon, everybody. Pigskin Pete here. Happy Friday to everybody. Really excited to be back on here with all of you. Hope everybody had a great New Year's, great Christmas. Several things I want to go over. I'm going to try to squeeze this into 45 minutes to an hour. The kids are still out of school. Everybody doesn't go back to work till Monday, and things around the Peete household with kids home during the day is crazy, obviously. And so I have like a couple of minutes now where there's only one rugrat in the house to bother me. So if the rugrat runs in here, I don't tell you, I can't do anything about that. But lots I want to talk about. Obviously, I want to talk about the game. I want to talk about the ticket sales problem they're having for the college football national championship game. I got some definite thoughts on that. And I've got actual real thoughts because there's lots of speculation going around from all around the media and even other people on YouTube. But I can give you a real Clemson fan's perspective, and I'm sure if there's Alabama fans that live in Alabama or somewhere in the Southeast, they can give you the same information that I'm giving you. And there's other things I want to go over, too. So last night, I want to give a big shout-out and thank you to Catfish for having me on the Volunteer Roadshow for the fan face-off against Law Tide last night. Now, I got to be honest with you. I was a little bit disappointed with the way that turned out, and it's not Law Tide's fault, and it's not Catfish's fault. I want to be very upfront when I say that. But I am going to address it because I listen to the playback. Obviously, when I'm doing it live, I can't hear the playback. I'm just on the phone. But the playback of it, Law Tide's volume on his phone or something, I don't know, was like 3 times louder than mine. And we were both talking over each other. But when we talked over each other, all you could hear was Law Tide and not me. And so, like I said, it's not Law Tide's fault and it's not Catfish's fault, but it is what it is. But I still had fun, and that's all that really matters. And I had a great time. And again, thank you, Catfish and Law Tide for that. But I will go over some of the stuff that we talked about last night. Now, that was just more of a trash talking session than anything. But we both had some valid points that I want to go over since a lot of it, as far as my end of it, wasn't able to be heard over the air. So thank you for that. And I guess we'll just get right into that real quick, and then we'll go through some other things. Before I do any of that, I want to give some shout-outs here. Let's see who's in here. And by the way, for anybody who cares, this, like I said before, this whole live streaming schedule during the holidays. Now, next Monday is the beginning of reality again after the holidays are over. Back to school, back to work for everybody. And so I'm going to probably adjust my live stream schedule based on for the off season will be different than what it is during the football season. I haven't figured that out yet. I'll let you know next week. Like I said, I'm gonna do at least one, probably still 2 live streams a week. The times may change, and the days may change, and I'll let you know what they are if you care. Also, I'll continue just to do my meaningless videos that I do yelling into my phone as well, so you can look forward to that. But let's see who's in here real quick. Melon Matt says, "What's up, Pete? What's up, Melon Matt?" Tiger Nate, Prince 6'1" in the house. Prince 6'1" is a very busy man. I'm glad to see you're here, sir. Ryan Stanfield in the house. Where have you been at, sir? This guy had a kid, and I believe me, I've got 2 kids, so I know how this goes with him. I tried to tell you, sir. When you have your first kid, life completely changes. No more fun time, at least for a while. But I'm glad to see you're here, sir. I hope Grayson's doing well. I hope you and your whole family's doing well. Congratulations. And how was Grayson's first Christmas, by the way? What'd you get him? Some pacifiers? A crap load of diapers? What'd you get? What'd you get the kid? Christian Ballard, what's up? The GOAT Watson, SEC football tube, Glow in the house. Hound Dog says, Pete, what's up, Hound Dog? Bobby Durkins Jr. Hey, by the way, Bobby Durkins Jr., I talked to your dad, a couple hours ago, and we had a good conversation. What's up? The QC says, what's up, Shades? I guess that's my new nickname now. What's up, Shades? Jesse Stacy. I hit you up and new sub here. Roll Tide Roll. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you so much for hitting the subscribe button. We have a lot of fun here. And believe it or not, if you're new here, you may not understand, but I'd say I don't know what percentage of people that subscribe to me and comment and interact with me are Alabama fans, but there's a lot of them. Georgia fans too. I mean, I think there's definitely overall more fans from other fan bases than there are from Clemson. But I like that. I love it. So welcome here. Tyler Jackson, Tigers bringing the Natty back home. Well, I agree with you, sir. I agree 110%. Michael Lynch is in the house. He's proclaiming that he's in the house. Larisha M. Hey, Pete. Hey, Larisha. I don't want to mispronounce your name. I said Larisha, but I'm rethinking it, and I'm thinking it's probably more like Larisha. Well, we'll see if I'm right. You'll let me know. I always hate to butcher people's names. All right. So anyway, some of the things that were discussed on the show last night. I'm just going to go through some bullet points here because I think that they're pertinent to the conversation. Okay, that's all. I mean, like I said before, a lot of this was just trash talking between the two of us, and that's what the whole thing was all about. But he mentioned some good points, and of course he took some jabs like any good trash talker would do, and said things like, "Well, your players are taking roids. You think you're better without Dexter Lawrence than you are with them?" No, I don't. But here's the thing. What I tried to tell him is that Clemson's defense is so deep. Are we better without Dexter Lawrence? Of course not. You're not better without any great player. But we're so deep that out of all the positions on the football field, that's the one we can afford to lose the most, whether it's to injury or suspension or whatever. Number two, or B, part B. I don't know which one I said, A or B or one or two. Anyway, whatever. You know what I'm saying here. There's 3 players for Alabama suspended too. And listen, I don't know why. You may know why. They haven't said. And unfortunately for Alabama, one of the key players on their offensive line is one of the ones that's suspended. So it's easy to say, yeah, Dexter Lawrence is a big piece to be missing, especially against this Alabama offense. Well, I can go ahead and tell you that you're one of your best offensive linemen and an All-American, I think, if somebody can correct me if I'm wrong there. Missing off of your offensive line when you're going up against the best defensive line in football has got to be a little bit of a sting as well. And all I've ever done, I see a super chat. Johnny Red Dot coming through with $4.99 super chat. Hertz QBR 93. Third in the country right now, sir. First of all, I appreciate the super chat. Thank you for that, Johnny. And Johnny, you're a good guy. You're always on here and you're always very supportive. So, but Hertz hasn't started. But what has he started any games this year? How many passes has he thrown? Yeah. Listen, here's the thing about Jalen Hurts. I'll talk about this before I get into what I was already saying. Jalen Hurts is probably the best backup quarterback in the country, and there's nobody can take that away from him. I mean, what he did in the SEC championship game to bring them back from a deficit to beat Georgia was nothing short of miraculous, and you gotta tip your cap to the guy, and that's great. And if something happens to Tua in this national championship game, it's great to have a really experienced, great player like Jalen Hurts to be your backup. Clemson should only be so lucky to have a backup quarterback as good as Jalen Hurts and as experienced and one who's played in big games like this. But he's the backup quarterback, and that's just all there is to it. So it is what it is. And by the way, I hope that both Tua and Trevor Lawrence both stay healthy. I don't want to see any injuries in this game. I want this game to be as good as a game as you're going to see. Everybody stays healthy, and may the best team win. So that's the way I feel about it. What's up, NASA CGI Snakes? Mel and Matt. And so, yeah, that's another thing he said last night was, which I get this, is that your quarterback quit on your team. Ours stayed, and he's amazing and fantastic and everything else that you want to say about Jalen Hurts. And so, somehow whatever I was saying got drowned out, like I was said, because of the volume level. But here's the thing. Jalen Hurts is a senior now. He's graduated now. He's leaving. Bye. See you later. After this national championship game's over, Jalen Hurts is hauling butt somewhere else in to play football. Now, he might not. I still think he's going to. And that's the same thing that Kelly Bryant did. Kelly Bryant was a graduate already. Kelly Bryant was a senior. Kelly Bryant had no eligibility left if he took one more snap at Clemson. Jalen Hurts did. So there's really not much of a difference. The only difference is that one was a senior and one was a junior. And that's the whole reason you saw what you saw. What's up, Jesse Stacy? Hurts is going to OU, and that's what you're hearing. That would be interesting, and I would be surprised to see that happen, really, because of the Spencer Rattler kid that's coming in for Oklahoma. This is the top quarterback recruit in the country coming into this next year, and Jalen Hurts, even though he's experienced and a great player, would have to compete with that kid. And I don't know how if that would work out, but we'll see. You may have more information on it than I do. I don't really start following the recruiting really hard and in depth until after this national championship game is over. There are certain people out there that follow this stuff year round, and they're really into recruiting. I'm just not one of those guys. Now, I will get deep into it after the season's over, because that's really the next big thing in college football. Is the second signing period, the late signing period, which used to be the original signing period before they added this early signing period. If you could follow all this, SEC Football Tube coming through with the $5 super chat. You should join my Discord server, Pete. Yeah, I've the Discord thing. I'll look into it, sir. There's a lot of people out there that use Discord. I'm just listen. I'm basically, I mean, I'm not a full potato. But I'm like a half of a baked potato when it comes to things like that. It's amazing and fantastic that I could even turn on my laptop and plug in a microphone in order to do this broadcast. That's how technologically challenged that I really am. So, what's up? We were the storm. Now I got all you guys. Here's Pete Jr. What's up, buddy? Yeah. They went out to play. No, you have to wait. Yeah. Pete Jr. Wonder where his big brother is. Isn't that sweet? Anyway. I forgot. Yeah, so I was talking about something, but all you guys being so generous with the super chats got me off track here. Crap. Man, I've got the memory of a cockroach, by the way. Melon Matt says, no, he's not. You're funny. He's already applied and got accepted to graduate school here at Alabama. Listen, sir. I mean, listen. That does not mean that he's going there. It just means that he's accepted to the graduate school at Alabama. He can still transfer, even if he's enrolled at Alabama. And by the way, I don't care. I don't have any personal connection to Jalen Hurts or whether or not he comes back or whether he does. I could care less. It's not going to affect Clemson in any way. It's just my personal opinion that he's leaving. And the only reason I even have that opinion in the first place is because his dad said if he doesn't win the starting job against Tua, then he'll be the hottest free agent in football. He said that before this football season. And if Jalen Hurts had transferred this year before he graduated, he would have had to sit out a year next year. So in my mind, if you put all this together, I mean, I'm not a gumshoe or a private eye even. But if you put all this together and you got the father saying if he doesn't get the starting job, he's going to be the hottest free agent in college football, coupled with the fact that if he has to if he would have left before the season was over, he would have had to sit out a year. It all makes sense. He's got one more year of eligibility left after this year. He's a graduate, so he doesn't have to sit out when he goes and plays somewhere next year. So, I mean, the most logical resolution to come to would be that he plans on transferring after this year. I could be completely wrong, but I'd be willing to bet a large sum of money that I don't have and can't bet that he's leaving. We'll see who's right. Yeah. What's up, my Carolina skies? The Carolina skies. I live in South Carolina, by the way. And the Carolina skies here are gloomy and rainy, and have been for 2 months. It's so depressing. My backyard looks like a pond. It's pitiful. George says, I've been listening to the show, but I can't talk right now. I did like the video. Go Gators. Thank you, sir. Everybody hit the like button, please. Follow George's example. He's obviously a genius. And you need to follow in his example. Catusa 93. Clemson D-line up front may be the best in college football right now. Yes, I think it is. And I'm very confident. Listen, if you spent more, if this isn't the first video that you've watched of me, then you already know I'm confident in Clemson. And I'm sure all Alabama fans are very confident for their team, as they should be. They're Alabama. I mean, they are the standard in college football. They should be favored to win every game that they play, and they've proven that they can, and they should be. I would not be surprised at either outcome for this game. I don't think anybody's getting blown out. So if I've seen a lot of people online, I don't know if they're trolling or if they actually believe this stuff, but 49-17 Alabama, 35-10 Alabama. I mean, come on, just stop it. You might think Alabama's going to win the game, but if you think they're going to win by 3 scores, then you're high. You just are. You're just high. Either you're high or you really don't pay that close of attention to what's been going on. And the same can be said for Clemson. I think Clemson's a great team. They're not blowing Alabama out. Neither one of these teams has been blown out all year, and it's not happening in this game. I think it'll be a close game. Either team could win, but I'm very confident that my Tigers can come out on top. They have the talent to do it. Both teams do. So that reminds me of a funny thing. Before I forget, excuse me. I'm sorry. This has nothing to do with the game this week. This is just a funny story I want to tell you. Not even so much of a story. It's just facts. So that video that I did immediately after the Sugar Bowl game between Georgia and Texas, I mean, within 10 minutes of the game being over, I uploaded a video where I was impersonating a Georgia fan making excuses for Georgia's season and losing the Sugar Bowl, which was it was silly. It was tongue-in-cheek. It was just me making fun of Georgia, okay? Very lighthearted thing. I mean, I wasn't being well. At least I didn't think I was being a jerk, but maybe I was. But that's not the surprising thing. That I got some people on there that thought I was a Georgia fan, but the amount of people that commented. First of all, that video has been the most viewed video I've ever done in the past year. It's already up to almost like 10,000 views, which isn't a whole lot, but it's the most I've ever had for one video, and hundreds of comments. But the amount of people that watched that video and actually thought that I was a Georgia fan whining and making excuses. Now, meanwhile, that's not even the crazy part, because the title of the video said Georgia fan reacts to 2018 and the Sugar Bowl. But I was wearing a Clemson hat in the video. And also on top of that, I was saying crazy, stupid things like the reason that Jake Fromm was better than Justin Fields is because he was a better fisherman. Now, if you watch a video with a guy wearing a Clemson hat and he's saying that Jake Fromm is better than Justin Fields because he's a fisherman, and you still think I'm a Georgia fan, then that is off the radar from a level 10 to 12 potato. I mean, baked potato. Microwave potato, if you want to. But it never ceases to amaze me the amount of people that are really that stupid on the internet. I know there's stupid people out there, but the amount of them is shocking and alarming, really. Yeah, people don't pay attention. The amount of Texas fans that came on there was like, look at this whiny, crying Georgia fan making excuses for his team. Like, really? One guy even said, I'm confused. If you're a Georgia fan, why do you have on a Clemson hat? Let's think about it for a second. And on top of that, if you clicked the description of the video, it said, the description of the video was a Clemson fan ragging on Georgia fans. That was the description of the video. Jeez-a-ree. Anyway, I thought that was funny. I was so shocked to see how many people believe that. Christian Ballard says Alabama will win the final seconds. Jalen Hurts runs into the game-winning touchdown plus an extra point to help the Tide win 30-24 over the Clemson cheating Tigers. That's one hell of a very in-depth description of how the game's going to go. I mean, did you travel from the future, sir? Because that's some very, very particular projections there. I mean, listen, if everything that you just said in that comment, Jalen Hurts runs in the game-winning touchdown plus an extra point to help the Tide win 30-20. If you get all that right, sir, then I'm going to give you my personal phone number, and you can call and give me the lottery numbers for next week for the Powerball or the Mega Millions or whatever, because you will be a psychic. Michael Lynch, someone on the radio was talking that Trevor Lawrence said he would test the NFL rules and announce for the draft this year, maybe next. He can't. You cannot announce for the draft until you've played 3 years of football. I mean, he can. No, he didn't say that. So stop it with this. Somebody may have said that, but it's not true, sir. I don't know what else to tell you. He's going to be a Clemson quarterback for 3 years. This year and 2 more. That's it. Get over it. That's what's going to happen. All right, good. Okay, good. Oh, Glow. Well, I changed my hat. No, I won't change my hat. Why would I do that? Not happening. Yeah. Anyway, so another thing I wanted to talk about. Anything posted on that's a true fact, sir. Anything posted on the internet is true. And in fact, I think that there's a law that says everything that's put on the internet has to be true. So of course it has to be. I mean, come on. Everybody knows that. Yeah, so the thing that's been making me crazy all week, or at least for the past few days, is this outrage and outcry all over social media and all over the radio and all over TV about the ticket sale problems for the national championship game. Now, it's simple. I don't want to belittle anybody who has a different opinion than me, but I'm living proof of this as being a fact. All right? Number one, TLC is the problem with this ticket sale thing. T for timing, L for location, and C for cost. Those 3 things have hurt this national championship ticket sale thing more than anything by a long shot. Now, the speculation and that you hear on radio and even on YouTube is that people are just tired of seeing Clemson and Alabama, so nobody's buying tickets. Now, I can tell as soon as somebody says that, I know right off the bat that they've never been to a big bowl game. They've never been to a playoff game. They've never been to a championship type game in football, period. Because the 99.9% of the ticket sales go to the fan bases. For instance, I went to the Peach Bowl in, what was that, 2013? Hell, I can't even remember. 2012 or 13 when Clemson played LSU in the Peach Bowl. Everybody there was either a Clemson fan or an LSU fan. It wasn't just random people from Atlanta that wanted to go watch a football game. Within 24 hours of the tickets going on sale, it sold out for Clemson fans and LSU fans. So this theory that people have that nobody's buying tickets because people are tired of seeing Clemson and Alabama in the playoff or in the national championship. There's 2 fan bases in America that are not tired of seeing this. And guess what? They're the ones playing in the game. Clemson fans and Alabama fans are not tired of going to the national championship. It's not stopping them from buying tickets because they're tired of seeing their own team play for titles. Are you high? The reason is my wife and I looked into going to this game. As most Clemson fans probably at least looked into it, whether they were really going to go or not, they at least looked into how much it would cost to do it, right? The cheapest ticket, I live in Charleston area, South Carolina, on the coast of Charleston. Santa Clara, California is about as far away from Charleston as you can possibly get in the continental United States without either going to Alaska or Hawaii, okay? Not only that, the place where this game is being played is in one of the richest areas in the country, in California. It's all millionaires out there. There's nothing there. There's like tech companies like Silicon Valley and a bunch of rich people. A bunch of rich people that could give two craps about college football probably don't even know who's playing in the game, let alone going to spend money to go to it. The logistics of getting to that stadium is a complete nightmare. They had the Super Bowl there a few years ago, and everybody that went complained about how expensive and how terrible of a venue that was to have the Super Bowl at, because there's nothing there. And the hotels are all jacked through the roof. The plane tickets are jacked through the roof. You've got to rent a car. It's very open. It's not like L.A. or Dallas or New Orleans or Miami where you can just take a Uber or a cab places. You've got to rent a car or take a very long cab ride or Uber ride. By the time the cheapest plane ticket that we could find from where I live per person was $975 round trip. So if that's two people, that's $2,000 basically, just for the plane tickets. The cheapest hotel that we could find was a Best Western, which is basically like a Motel 6 Roach Motel, okay? Probably about 30 or 45 minutes away from the venue for $350 a night. You're going for at least 2 nights. At least 2, the night that you get there and the night of the game. You may go for probably 3 or 4. So now you're up over $2,500 to $3,000. You add the game tickets into that and Uber rides and car rentals and entertainment and food and whatever else. You're up with $4,000 to $5,000 for 2 people. 2 people. This is the reason that people aren't going to the game. It's not because people are tired of Clemson and Alabama. I guarantee you, if this game would have been played in Atlanta or Miami or New Orleans or Dallas or even in Arizona, the game would have been sold out in less than 24 hours. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. That's the only reason. And I don't know who makes these decisions as far as the NCAA or the college football. I don't know who makes the decision on where the game's being played or any of that. But they made a huge mistake here in putting it there. It's one of the worst venues in football, in the NFL. Certainly not a great venue for college football. And on top of all that, besides the fact that nobody's going because they can't afford it, the field is terrible. I don't know if any of you guys have seen the pictures of the football field. It's awful. The field is in terrible shape, and they're supposed to have a bunch of rain between now and Monday. And it's probably going to end up being really bad. And you know what? That's really unfortunate. It's really unfortunate for all of the fans for every reason that I just stated as far as the cost of it. But it's really unfortunate for the players that they have to play on a crap field in the biggest game. And this is the Super Bowl of college football, and they have to play on that. It's really sad. And I hope that nobody gets injured as a result of this crappy field. And I hope it doesn't affect the performance of the players, because this is going to be, in my mind, one of the best 2 most talented football teams going head to head, and it should be a great show no matter how it ends up. And if that's diminished because of the condition of the field, that'll be sad. It'll be sad. But I can guarantee you one thing: they won't make this mistake again. This game will probably never be played at the 49ers Stadium ever again. After this debacle that's unfolded in front of everybody. But I hope it's great. I hope it turns out okay. I mean, I wish everybody the best. But I mean, college football fans for the most part are not rich people. I mean, there are rich alumni and boosters and that buy up all the box tickets and they have all the money that they want to fly all over the country and go watch football games. But if you go to any average college football game on any average weekend and anywhere in America, I mean, 90% of the people in that stadium are just middle-class people with kids, like me, like you. It is what it is. And nobody after a week after Christmas or 2 weeks after Christmas has an expendable $4,000 to $5,000 to just go spend on going and watching a football game. It's just, it's crazy. So anyway, I'm done with my rant about that. But for anybody who's wondering, you may be tired of seeing Clemson and Alabama in the national championship, but I promise you Clemson and Alabama fans aren't. Okay? So I'm glad I could clear that up for you. Yeah, the beer sales, and I'm a beer drinker too. Yeah, I went to the Panthers game a few weeks ago. When was that? In December, like a week before Christmas, when they played the Saints. And I mean, it's just, I I don't even want to get into all that. But paying $10 for a beer, I mean, you might as well just punch me in the mouth and then slap me. It's crazy. Why is my hat burnt? It's not burnt, sir. Yeah. You know you like Keystone Lights? Yeah, I do like Keystone Light. I like all beer. I don't think I've ever tasted a beer that I didn't like. Except for I draw the line at fruit flavored beer. I think I've had this conversation before. I don't like fruit flavored beer. I want beer that tastes like beer. All right? Everyone's got their preferences. I like light beer. I like dark beer. I like IPA. Well, all this other crap. I don't care. If does it have alcohol and suds in it? And does it taste like some resemblance of an actual beer? I'll drink it. I don't care. I'm not snobby. I like it all. Okay? But as soon as you start making it taste like strawberries and apples and oranges, I'm out. I'm out on that, man. I mean, I don't get it. If I want to eat an apple, I'll eat a friggin' apple or drink some apple juice. I don't want my beer tasting like apples. Sorry. I don't know what to tell you. It's like going to Starbucks and ordering coffee. It's like I literally don't know how to order a cup of coffee at Starbucks. I literally cannot do it. I can't do it. First of all, the menu is written in a different language. It's like you got transplanted into France. I guess it's French. I don't even know if it's French. But can I get a small black coffee with a little bit of cream and sugar in it? Do I have to know a foreign language to order a cup of coffee in South Carolina? Are you freaking kidding me? And then you want me to pay $5 for it? Oh, Jesus. Yeah, Bud Light's good. Katusa93 says, you need plenty of beer watching Cam Newton. Yes. On a normal day, I would probably take offense to that and try to rip into you. But well played, sir. You're absolutely right about that. Jalapeno flavored beer. Now, that's interesting. I've never had that. I'd be willing to try it, but at least a jalapeno is not a fruit. Technically. I do like spicy stuff. Coors Light. I like Coors Light too. Like I said, I like it all, man. You guys, you keep naming beers, I'm going to like them all. It's just, I'm not a hater. What's up, DVD? I don't want to rag on your name. I'm just going to call you DVD. But it's sometimes I just feel like, look in the comment section right now. This is what I feel like people do to make their names. And of course, you had to add a number at the end of it. That's it right there. Like, that's what people's names look like to me. Like, what is that? Like, if your name, it literally is not even a word in the English language, what are you doing? I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to come down on you, sir. It's just, if I can't pronounce it, I mean, what is that? Let's see. DVD FMZWBR. My mouth, listen, I could try for 3 hours. My mouth can literally not make that sound. It can't happen. Dividivimizibur. Yeah, good name. Seriously, though, Red's hard apple ale is like 9% alcohol. Yeah, no, listen, I've drank Red's apple ale before. I don't hate it, but it's one thing to have like one of those, as opposed to if you're gonna drink a 6-pack of that or a 12-pack even. I mean, I'd be puking just from the sugar content, not from the alcohol. I could drink a 24-pack of beer and not puke. I guess that's either my tolerance level and the fact that I'm Irish. I guess my genes. But all that sugar in that beer is just, that shit would make me sick. Don't drink beer, kids. Oh, Lord. Prince. I should have read that before. I started to read it. Pete, is that moss? Huh? What do you mean? You guys are killing me. We've gotten way off the beaten path here, haven't we? But I feel pretty comfortable with the fact that I've covered everything I wanted to cover today. I don't really know what else to say that I haven't already said about the Alabama game. I mean, I think I've said it all. I just feel like that these are two so evenly matched teams talent-wise. Whether Alabama fan wants to admit it or not, it is what it is. This is the first time in this 4-game rematch series between these two teams every year that I can honestly say that we match up person to person from top to bottom on every position on the field with Alabama. That has not been true before until now. They've always been just a little bit better than us personnel-wise, top to bottom. This is the first year that's not true. That's the way I feel about it. And I think that it's going to go either way. I don't know what else to say as far as the game goes. It's just we'll see. We'll see what happens. And best luck to both teams. So what I'm going to do now is just let you guys ask me questions, and I'll try to answer them. And if you guys run out of questions, or if I deem the questions to be unentertaining or irrelevant to the conversation, then I'll just go ahead and end the stream. But I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a chance to ask me questions or make comments, whatever. Jesse Stacy, your secondary is not so good. Bama's is a little bit better. I would tend to agree. Jesse, here's the way I'm going to address that. Our secondary is the weakest part of our team, and the reason that is because every single other part of our team is elite. So I would agree that our secondary is not elite compared to the rest of our team. To say that they're not good, I think is a little bit of a stretch. I think that they are good. I also think, because everybody wants to point to the South Carolina game in particular as far as the secondary getting exposed, and they did. But the difference between elite teams and elite coaching, and that's the main thing I want to talk about here, and both of these teams have elite coaching. Nobody's going to argue that, is that if a team like South Carolina is able to see something that's been happening all year on film and scheme for it and expose it, that's good on their part. They did everything they were supposed to do. They schemed for it, and they executed on it. Two things that are very important. So hats off to South Carolina for doing that. But what elite players and elite coaching staffs do is never allow those same sort of mistakes to happen twice. They correct it. And and since that game, and that the secondary has looked elite. Now, are they going to be able to shut down Alabama's receivers and Tua? Oh, no. Nobody has been able to do that, but guess what? Same thing can be said for the other way around. Nobody has been able to shut down Clemson's offense, especially late in the year. So it was very different situation, Mel and Matt, in the A&M game as the South Carolina game, and different schemes. Who's your running back besides Travis? We have Travis Etienne, Tavion Feaster, Adam Choice, and Lynn J. Dixon. These are all four going to be drafted in the NFL. Obviously, the bell cow, the leader of the group is Travis Etienne, who's a true sophomore. He's the one that everybody knows about. I mean, this guy, what do you have? Close to 2,000 yards on the ground, 25 touchdowns, and averages like 9 yards a carry, which leads the nation. But the thing with him is that the amount of carries he got per game were not a lot. I mean, he had somewhere between 10 and 13 on average carries per game, which is a low amount for a guy who had that many yards and touchdowns. So, I mean, if this guy was a bell cow like Jonathan Taylor at Wisconsin, and they were giving this guy the ball 25, 30 times a game, he could have been well over 2,000 yards and up around 35 touchdowns. But Clemson's offense is very balanced. Statistically, Nobody runs. I mean, they're almost a 50-50 split right down the middle as far as how often they run it and how often they pass it. So they're very balanced. I saw in the newspaper last week that Feaster is trying to decide on whether going to the draft. Yeah, I saw that too. Clemson Carson. Do I think that Clemson will have over 100 yards rushing against Alabama? Yes, I do. And, we average like 240 yards a game on the ground. So will we get 240 yards on the ground against Alabama? Probably not. We'll get less than our average because we're playing a great team and a great defense. But over 100 yards, yes, I'd say so. And I also think that Alabama will rush for over 100 yards against our team too. So that's, yeah. What's up? The artist formerly known as Drake Luke. Wrong on purpose. I'm pulling for Clemson in the championship. Thank you, sir. We need all the support we can get. G. Grace. How many yards are you giving me, Tiger Name? Aaron Short says both teams deserve to be there. Yeah, I don't think there's really a discussion about that. The only people that are screaming that they should have possibly belong there are, I mean, they have no leg to stand on. I mean, Georgia, I'm sorry. Georgia's a great team. They had a great year. They're not championship caliber. They're not national championship caliber this year. They might be next year. Might be the year after that. They're not this year. Sorry. You had your chance. You blew it. Ohio State, same difference. Ohio State might be able to beat anybody in the country on any given day. They've got the talent to do it. Nobody's disputing that. Ohio State, you had your chance. You blew it. So the two best teams in the country are certainly playing for this game, and that is what it is. What's up, Bruce Hucks? He says, I'm a dog fan here. I'm pulling for you. Thank you, sir. I always like to see, especially after I go on and make videos where I, am poking fun at other fans like I did with Georgia, and then they come on here and wish me luck. That shows that people actually have class and a sense of humor, too. The lack of sense of humor on the internet is shocking and amazing. It just is. I mean, you can't even make fun of somebody or lightheartedly poke at somebody without them throwing a fit. I mean, I had people come on here and tell me they want to. I had this one guy. This is no kidding. And I know I shouldn't even address people like this because it just gives them more fuel. But one guy said that he hopes that somebody chokes my throat to the point where I can't speak on camera anymore. Now, I don't know what. Sorry, kind of a son of a bitch loser you got to be to go on the internet and want somebody to lose their voice and have their throat broken because they made fun of your football team. You've got to be one special kind of a loser to do that. But anyway, I digress. It is what it is. Matt Champion in the house. Good afternoon to you, sir. I'm sure if you're here, you're amazing and fantastic. Roll Tide. What's up, Pete? Going to the good game. Going to be a good game. I'm not delusional. It's a 50-50 shot in this game. Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. Yeah. So, I'm sorry, Christian. I've got diarrhea of the mouth, sir. If I'm missing your comments, and that goes for anybody. If you feel like you're asking me the same question over and over again, and you think I'm ignoring you, I'm not. I promise you, I'm not. It's just I can't read comments and talk at the same time, and since I'm the only guy on here talking, I do a lot of it, and so that's why I miss stuff. And it's not intentional at all. I promise. Let me go back and see what you said, sir, if I can. Pete, how dare you compare Clemson to Alabama, who is pretty much your daddy? We own y'all right now. I would say that first of all, that's a completely incorrect statement, sir. You don't own us. If you did own us, then you wouldn't have lost to us 2 years ago for a national championship. Now, do you have a winning record in the playoffs, 2-1? Yes, you do. But guess what? If Clemson beats Alabama on Monday, then we will be 2-2 in the playoffs against Alabama, and we will be 2-1, which is a winning record against Alabama in the national championship games. So owning is a bit of a stretch. You don't own Clemson, but you can think that if you want to. Clemson Jacob in the house. Since 2008, yeah, you're talking about Tommy Bowden, sir. Of course you owned Clemson in 2008. Tommy Bowden sucked. Sports Live in Atlanta. Clemson will beat Alabama. Go Tigers. David from Atlanta is pulling for my Tigers. That's shocking. Actually, I guess it's not shocking. I mean, he's a Georgia guy, Georgia fan. I guess I don't know why. I would have figured that for some reason you would have been pulling for Alabama, but I don't know why what I'm basing that on. But thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Miranda Dansby, my favorite damsel in distress. How are you? And how's your man? My favorite Gamecock, college football maniac. How's he doing? All right. Do you think this Alabama-Clemson rivalry will cause Saban to consider leaving Alabama for the NFL? No. Listen, my Carolina Skies. Nick Saban is not, when he leaves Alabama, he's retiring, and he's how old is he? Somebody know? 67, 68, 65. He's at least in his mid 60s. I don't know his exact age. Hound Dog coming through with the super chat. Whoever wins the game will be the first team ever to go 15-0. And that's the other thing, Christian Ballard. To say that your team, Alabama, owns Clemson, again, like I just stated, that would be another feather in our cap. If we win, and that's a big if, still have to play the game, they'd be the first team to ever go 15-0. That's something that Nick Saban's never done either. So we'll see. But, yeah, by the way, Hound Dog, thank you, sir. You're amazing and fantastic. But you already know that. Nittanyberg 20, good afternoon to you, says everyone except for Alabama fans are pulling for Clemson. That's not true at all. I mean, I guess maybe you could say the majority of people probably are. But believe me, there's plenty of people, especially inside of fan bases in the SEC, that do not want to see Clemson win this game. They love their conference more than they love their own team. They're SEC homers, and they would love I mean, to them, an ACC school who doesn't deserve to be there because the ACC is so terrible, which is the most retarded, simple-minded, infantile view of sports that you could ever imagine, is that somehow because Clemson plays in a bad conference, that makes them a worse team, is retarded. Sorry, it just is what it is. I mean, that's like saying that if Michael Jordan during his prime went on the basketball court and played against 5 midgets, that he would beat up on those midgets, and somehow Michael Jordan's not as good of a basketball player as if he didn't play against midgets. It's a stupid, stupid thing to say. And I went off on a tangent. I forgot what the hell my point was. Oh, yeah. But there's a lot of people in the SEC that want to see Alabama beat Clemson. Trust me. Anytime I can use an analogy that involves midgets, it's been a great day for me. So thank you for that. I love saying that word too. Any midgets in here? People say I've now used 2 words, at least 2 words on this live stream alone. That people say you shouldn't say. One of them was midgets. The other one was retard. I mean, I guess the only thing worse than saying that would be calling somebody a retarded midget. I guess. I don't know. You guys can let me know. All right. What better note to end that on than what I just ended it on? So thank you all. Thank you. If you're new here, and I have seen, we were the Storm 1. Good afternoon. I've seen a lot of new faces in here that I haven't seen before. Welcome to the Pigskin Pete YouTube channel. I appreciate your support. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and do that. Thank you to all the people that sent super chats today. You guys are awesome. Jesse Stacy. who's an Alabama fan. SEC Football Tube, who's a South Carolina fan. Jesse Stacy sent another one. I'm sorry I missed that, Jesse. I didn't even see that second one. He says, here you go, first beer on me, bud. Great show. Thank you. I didn't even see that one. I apologize for missing that. And then, of course, Hound Dog came through at the end with the $5 super chat. Thank you all. Thank you so much for that. I can't tell you how much that means to me. And here's the thing. So I battled back and forth whether or not I was going to even attempt to try to do a live stream for this national championship game. And I'm just going to be straight up with you and honest. It's not going to happen. There's no way. There's just no way. It's not going to happen. I'm going to be way too nervous and just into the game to be distracted by anything else. So it is what it is. Now, I may do a something before the game on Monday, like a pre-show thing, or I may do a post-game thing, or I may just yell into my phone after the game's over, either cussing out my team or the opposite. I don't know. But anyway, look for something on Monday in some shape or form. And then next week, I will do my best to get back on schedule to some sort of live stream, normal schedule. And I'll announce the schedule for that. Sports, David in Atlanta coming through with a super chat. He didn't even say anything, but he sent me $5. And thank you, David. Everybody go check out David's channel. He's a Falcons fan. He does a Falcons video maker. And, you know, I don't do a lot of NFL stuff. Obviously, I'm a diehard Carolina Panthers fan. But this particular YouTube channel is solely based mainly around college football. But if you're an NFL guy, especially if you're an Atlanta Falcons fan, or even if you're just somebody that hates the Falcons, go check out David on YouTube. Thank you, David. All right, I guess that's it. I'm gonna go now, guys. I'll see you guys soon. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Go Tigers. Yeah. Thank you. If I get out of this thing, I promise I'll turn it off eventually. I don't know what the hell I'm doing here. Oh yeah, by the way, Pigskin Pete checking out.